The narrative of Lot is well known in the Bible, primarily due to his connection with the city of Sodom, which was destroyed by God because of its numerous sins. Lot was the son of Haran, Abraham's brother, making him the famous patriarch of Israel's nephew. In this video, you will learn all the details about who Lot was. The origin and meaning of the name Lot are uncertain, but some scholars suggest that this name might be related to a covering veil. The Bible recounts that after his father's death, Lot left the city of Ur and headed to the city of Haran, accompanied by his grandfather Terah, his uncle Abram, and Sarai. Later, when Abram left Haran after Terah's death, Lot followed him again toward Canaan. Subsequently, during a time of great famine in the land of Canaan, Lot went down to Egypt with Abram and his entourage. After Abram was expelled from Egypt, upon the Pharaoh discovering he had been deceived by him and Sarai, Lot returned with the patriarch to Canaan. During this time, Abram prospered greatly, and it seems that Lot was also blessed with this prosperity. Thus, at a certain point, Lot's and Abram's herds grew to such an extent that the region where they were could not support both groups. This led to disputes between Lot's shepherds and Abram's shepherds. For this reason, Abram and Lot ended up separating. At the time of separation, Abram generously allowed his nephew to choose first the land he wanted to occupy. Thus, Lot chose the lush plains of the Jordan, toward the Dead Sea, near Sodom. After the separation, Lot moved to Sodom and, in a short time, seems to have become involved in the city's business, likely attaining a prominent social position there. This is confirmed when angels of the Lord were sent to Sodom, and Lot was sitting at the city gate. In ancient times, the most respected members of a city would gather at its gate to settle legal matters. However, the citizens of Sodom were exceedingly wicked. The Bible states that the men of that city were evil and great sinners against the Lord. According to the New Testament, Lot was deeply troubled daily by the blatant wickedness of the inhabitants of Sodom. While he was in the city, a battle occurred in which a group of kings from Mesopotamia defeated the kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and Bela. All the goods of Sodom were taken, and many of its inhabitants were carried away as captives. Lot was no exception, as his goods were confiscated and he was captured as well. However, when Abram learned what had happened, he prepared a group of men who, in a nighttime battle, managed to defeat the enemy army. Thus, Lot and his household were rescued, and it was in this episode that Abram met Melchizedek. Nevertheless, this war involving Sodom did not distance Lot from that city. Lot is mentioned again in the biblical narrative when God decided to destroy the cities of the plain, including Sodom and Gomorrah. The Bible recounts that before the destruction, Lot and his family were rescued by two angels sent by the Lord. This salvation occurred by God's grace and mercy, due to the commitment he had with Abram. The way the men of Sodom received the angels of the Lord reveals the depravity that brought divine judgment upon the city. The inhabitants of Sodom wanted to have relations with the angels who were there in human form. It is worth noting Lot's terrible attempt to appease the situation by offering his own daughters to the men. This action demonstrated Lot's weakness and the corrosive effects of that city upon him. As the men of Sodom did not back down from their intention to seize the angels, they were struck with blindness. Lot was ordered to take his family out of the city about to be destroyed, but unfortunately, he showed resistance in leaving Sodom. Indeed, it was necessary for the angels to take him by the hand and forcibly pull him out of the city. Lot's family was also warned not to look back during their escape, but his wife disobeyed that command and was turned into a pillar of salt. After leaving Sodom, Lot and his daughters headed to a small city, but for some reason, they felt afraid to stay there. So, they went to a cave in a mountainous region, and something disastrous happened there. Lot's daughters got their father drunk and became pregnant by him. From these incestuous relationships, Moab and Ben-Ammi were born, with the former becoming the ancestor of the Moabites, while the latter was the ancestor of the Ammonites. These two peoples caused many problems for the Israelites throughout biblical history. The episode involving Lot's daughters highlights that the Bible never hides the mistakes, failures, and shortcomings of its characters, reaffirming that salvation is, in fact, solely by the grace of God and not by human merits. In addition to the references in the book of Genesis, Lot is rarely mentioned in the Bible, with his name appearing only in 2 other mentions of his descendants in the expression sons of Lot, in Deuteronomy chapter 2, and in Psalm 83. In the New Testament, Jesus mentions Lot in the Gospel of Luke in an eschatological passage that recalled the destruction of Sodom and Lot's deliverance. Lastly, the Apostle Peter also cited him in his second epistle, referencing the episode of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Thus, we conclude everything the Bible recounts about Lot's story, a man who had the opportunity to learn from Abram, the father of faith, and who was a living proof of the Lord's provision, yet still had a pathetic end. Unlike his uncle Abram, Lot was not guided by faith. His own eyes and human views led him to Sodom, a city that afflicted him and left deep marks on his family. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue exploring the lesser-known stories of the Bible, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new content. And leave your comment down below saying which story you'd like to see in upcoming videos. Your participation is super important for us to keep bringing this kind of content. See you in the next video.